Investing in property isn't about the fancy cars, the fancy watches, or glorifying a massive amount of wealth. It is about freedom, choices, and balance. In my opinion, anyway, that is what I believe investing in property is all about. And in today's episode, I'm going to be talking about why I invest in property and what that means for me. I'm not someone who is investing in property to be able to go out and buy the Lambo or to have the fancy watches or really be flashy and showy. For me, it's about freedom, it's about choices, and it's about balance in my future. And the reality is, in the early stages of investing in property, you do have to sacrifice on some of those things. You have to sacrifice on freedom, balance, to be able to get to where you want to go. But that's where, if you as a property investor can go out and understand your why to investing in property, it can make some of those sacrifices easier when you're going out there and investing. Because investing in property and building a portfolio that is large enough to change your future is going to be hard. There's going to be sacrifice. There's going to be challenges. And not just for a short period of time. It might be challenges for a number of years. And you really need to be able to commit 5 to 10 years of really focusing on investing in property to make a massive difference in your future, where you don't need to work 40 hours per week until the age of 65 or beyond. So let's get into some of the reasons that I invest in property. And these are some things that might mean something to you. You might be able to connect with those things and agree on them, or you might have some of your own goals. But as a property investor, as someone listening to this, you're interested in property, so it is important to really understand your why. So for me, one of the things I want to be able to do in the future is have the balance where I can train twice per day. Health is something that is super, super important to be able to. There's no point in going out and investing if you don't have your health in order, because if you die tomorrow due to health, which is quite grim, the reality is, what are we investing for? So I want to be able to go out there and be fit and healthy consistently and be able to train twice per day. It's not only just about your physical health and staying in shape, but it can be about your mental health as well. And it could be your meditation, or that just hour or 2 hours per day where you can do something for yourself. And it is being selfish sometimes, but that is something that is super important to me personally. I need to be able to train because it's something that I enjoy, and it helps me be able to perform in all other areas of my life. So that's one of the first reasons. Second reason is I want to get to the point where I can travel regularly. And it might not be an overseas trip all the time, but it might be every 3 months I can schedule in a week off to be able to go and even travel locally. There's so many beautiful places within Australia that you can travel to, but that is a goal that I want to be able to get to. And that leads into having balance within your life. When we're talking to a lot of our clients who are jumping on board, I would say 90% of the time, why they want to invest in property for their future is because they do like to travel. Everyone wants to travel. They want to go and experience new places, and they just want to have time off to unwind, relax, which is what investing is about. So that is another one that I value, and I want to be able to get to that. Growing a business, investing in property, and building that quite quickly, they are some things that I've had to sacrifice on, is the balance and having those regular holidays. So that's something in my future that I will plan to be able to implement within my life. I also want to be able to give back not only to my family, but to the team we're growing here at Tailored Property Wealth. And that might mean in line with that travel. It might mean more trips away, for example, for either my family or the team to be able to unwind and enjoy that as well. So that is something that I continue to strive towards to be able to implement within the future. I also want to give back within the community in the future. Being time poor now, it can be hard to be able to give back your time within the community, but there's a lot of different ways within your local community that you can assist and give back, which is something that creates that community. And community is an important part of having some happiness and being fulfilled in a way that's completely outside of what you do for work or outside even just your personal little circle. Being able to give back and help some of those people less fortunate is something that I think is powerful. Spreading a little bit of kindness and generosity. The next one for me is, I guess, directly related to being a parent, being a father, having twins under 2 years old currently, and not really having that support network within our family to really help out. So it's in the trenches and it can be challenging. So something that I have reflected on recently is once my kids get to the stage where they are having kids, I want to be in a position where I'm not working all the time so I can help support them and be the best parent at that point in time. And that is really something that if you don't set yourself up now, you may still not have that freedom in the future to be able to do that because you're still working a full time, for example, at 60, 65, or even 55. If you can retire at 50 and be able to have that freedom to really help your children even through their adult life. That's something that is extremely important to me. But also when they're 5, 10, 15, being able to have that freedom to go to their school events, to their sporting events, or what that looks like. Sometimes within a job, you don't have that flexibility, and they may be some things you miss out on. And that's something that I want to be able to build up now so I don't have to miss out on those things and those experiences. The next thing kind of leads again into the parenthood side of things and being able to provide to my kids opportunities that I wasn't able to have as a kid. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I didn't have any opportunities as a kid. However, being able to allow them to travel overseas when they're 10, 15, or whenever that is, that's not something that I was able to do. So having those experiences, to go and experience different cultures, different places at a young age, I think is extremely powerful. So that's something I want to be able to build up and give my children that opportunity. But not only that from a travel perspective, but it might be to really pursue a sport that they're super passionate about and not have a restriction from a money perspective of how far they can push that if that's something that they want to push. So that's something else that I really want to focus on. And just that balance in general, and some of these things we've spoken about today is really just balance. One of the goals that I want to achieve in the future is buying a farm somewhere where I can go away for the weekend and that really be my relaxation, my unwind. And that doesn't even need to be traveling far, right? But having that opportunity to go and really unwind. And it might be consistently having a 3-day weekend, not a 2-day weekend, and just getting that balance back. Because I'll always want to work. I'm passionate about what I do, so I don't want to give that up completely, but it's just having that balance where you don't need to do it for the majority of your week and really getting that balance back. And it will also allow you to continue to perform at a high level if you are still working, because you're also able to unwind and rest and relax and reset. That is it in a nutshell today on why I invest in property and some of those really important factors as to why I'm investing in my future. You might want to buy the fancy car, you might want to buy the fancy watch, or you simply might connect with some of those other things as to why I invest. And you can now understand, reflect on those things, see what's important to you when investing in property so that it can help with that sacrifice piece now, because you are going to have to sacrifice now. And some people don't want to do that, but then they're just grinding away for years and years and years. Whereas if you sacrifice now in the beginning, your future is going to be a lot more abundant. You're going to have a lot more balance, a lot more freedom and choices. And I think it's well worth it. I hope you liked this one. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next episode.